No one would have expected, inside a neglected garden shed in the Hertfordshire countryside, would be planted the seed of something magical.
Hello everybody, welcome to My Life with Ferrets. I'm Keeper Kate, this is Wriggles, and Scruffles is fast asleep in bed at the moment. It's time once again to welcome you to the enclosure as we review the week's clips of our girls and all their ferrety goings on. Someone who follows their story closely is our guy in the chair, our provocative protagonist, MahdDogg.
Oh, I like that. Provocative protagonist. Oh, definitely. Yes.
So I hope you're going to be provocative tonight in your thoughts and insights that you share as we watch these clips.
Well, provocative-ish.
Ish. Well, before we start, if you are new here, welcome, of course. We work on creating this content for you almost full time, and all we ask in return is that you, if you enjoy it, please hit that subscribe button and maybe give it a like too. And if you're feeling really racy, you could even share it on your social networks. We are on the drive to 1,000 subs for partnership right now, so every single click means a huge amount. Thank you so much. Well, MahdDogg, as usual tonight, we're going to fling open the doors of the enclosure and share a weekend of fun and ferrets, broadcast on 5 HD cameras around the clock. But first, I think it's time to find out what happened this week, isn't it?
It is indeed. And this week, it's great. It's packed with action and technology. We're going through the whole gamut of what FerretTube does. So... First of all, we've had a little bit of... we had an exciting weekend last weekend. It was Easter. I know I ate a load of chocolate eggs. What did you do?
Yeah. Well, I watched two ferrets roll quail's eggs around in a cardboard box. That's what I did.
Actually sounds better for you than eating all the chocolate eggs. Well, let's have a look then.
So yeah, as you said, this was Easter Sunday basically, and it was too late to make it into last week's show, obviously, because we put that to bed on Saturday night / Sunday morning. And although the light was a bit harsh, it's there's never a bad situation when it comes to watching ferrets chase after quail's eggs, little tiny eggs in a cardboard box. Look, you can see, like, Wriggles can't wait to get into them. She's sort of hanging on from the other side, going, "Give them to me, mummy."
Yes. Oh, then you don't. Oh no, they're opening them. Yeah, they've got this down pat.
They have, and in the end, actually, you'll see in a moment, Scruffles figures it out that the eggs aren't rolling around, and she just sort of like uses the opportunity of the container to sort of open her mouth really wide. You'll see it in a minute. And the lighting was so harsh because it was beautifully sunny.
Oh
obviously.
Yeah, it was a lovely weekend.
Here she goes. There you go.
Oh, wow.
And she carries it off, but mysteriously she brings it back to the box a few minutes later. You'll see her jump in with it in just a moment. Actually, she kind of run off, got halfway to going wherever she was going, and then obviously thought, do you know what, hang on, I think the box is the best place for this. And she's brought it back.
She's brought it straight back. Well, yeah, there's so many of them in there. She might not want that one anymore.
Wriggles is definitely very confused, but also amused by them. She spent, I cut this right down to just a few minutes, but she spent a very long time just gently kind of putting her paw on them. They would sort of skittle out from under her paw and roll away, and then she'd sort of go up to them again, and occasionally she would go quite a bit faster, but mainly it was this kind of just... nudging them around.
They're like balls, and we know what she's like with balls. It's just about running them around at the end of her nose.
Yeah. They don't behave in quite the same way as bulls, but we did eat them later. A little bit later on, I broke them open. They do like egg. An egg is actually quite good for their, for their diet in terms of helping them to pack on calories, because the yolk is quite high fat, and obviously the quail's egg is mostly yolk, so it's a good ratio. But they do definitely seem to like eating them. I stopped feeding them initially because it seemed that when they ate them, they were being sick, but that clearly was the bug, that they had caught at that point. And I wondered if, the eggs were suddenly making them sick, but I've been giving them fine until then. So, I've started to sort of give them quail's egg again now, and keeping going with the ducky soup every day. Wriggles lost her appetite a little the last couple of days, and there was some diarrhea in the tray tonight, so I think maybe she's feeling a little under the weather. She hasn't been eating as much, so hopefully there won't be any weight loss from her. I'm feeling confident that we'll have...
Hey!
You're all right, she landed on soft stuff. I'm feeling confident that Scruffles at least will have gained weight again this week, which is going to be fantastic news.
Oh, there they are. She's still in. It's at the end of her nose. She's pushing it round. That's just Wriggles. If it rolls, she's pushing it. Scruffles is a bit more about eating.
Yes. Well, she's progressively taking more and more. She ended up, I think, stealing 6 of them. Or was it 5? And I had to go and hunt them down in the inside enclosure. She'd hidden them in the tube, of course.
She'd stashed.
There's been another update from the vet as well, by the way. There's been an ongoing saga of the poor nurse who's helping me, trying to track down the laboratory that will do this test for ECE. Anyway, it transpires after a lot of back and forth, and I don't doubt that she's tried her utmost to find a resolution. The lab that said that they could do it, but they would send it off to a government lab, and they put my vet in touch with the government lab to see if they could do it directly. Anyway, the government lab refused to talk to them, so they went back to the lab that said that they could forward it on to the government lab. They tried to make that inquiry, and the government lab said basically we've stopped doing it. There is nowhere in the whole of Europe or the UK that does this test now. This government laboratory that used to do it has stopped doing it, and apparently America is the best bet, but she said getting a poop sample into America is near on impossible.
That's not going to happen.
So, we had a brief conversation with her. It's like, I don't understand. Is this, this isn't an uncommon thing, but is it just one of those things that, if your ferret gets it, it'll either get over it or it'll pass away from it, and that's kind of the, I don't understand why there isn't anywhere in Europe or the UK that tests for this particular viral infection. Anyway, she still insists that there is no treatment for a viral infection. I would like to speak to the vet to verify that, because I'm not convinced that that's the truth.
Yes.
Because I was asking about preemptive or assumptive treatment in lieu of being able to test for it. And so I've made an appointment with the vet anyway next Thursday when he's next in, because of course he's only in on Thursdays and Fridays. I've got an appointment at 10:30 next Thursday morning to speak to the vet again and just talk about what's next. But I'm beginning to think that maybe if he says there's no treatment for a viral infection, it's just a question of treating the symptoms until they get over it themselves, then I'm just going to suggest that I carry on with the Pepto-Bismol for a few more weeks. Maybe there's something he can give us to stop the diarrhea, which I'm now that we're not seeing blood in the poop because the Pepto-Bismol is protecting the stomach, we're beginning to see the diarrhea now quite frequently. And that's obviously when they lose their appetites, is when we see that diarrhea. So I might, maybe there's something that he can give us that will potentially treat that symptom, and then hopefully they will just get over it. But we'll see.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed. Yeah, I mean, one thing I know about, I know from the human perspective, obviously not from the veterinary perspective, but in certain places all over the world, some places will give you antibiotic and antiviral treatment for a cold, and some places won't. And that's generally because if you dole out antibiotics and antivirals like candy, then the virus has evolved to be able to better fight those tools that we have. So I don't know whether it's the same principle in veterinary care.
Probably. I mean, I guess that, the physiologies are general sort of, circulatory systems and whatnot of mammals is all functioning in a similar way. But hopefully there'll be more news. I'll have had the talk with him next time we see you. So, and if you've got any suggestions or thoughts, if you've got any experience with health issues with your own ferrets that sound similar, then please do. All of the updates that where we've spoken about this, you can get them in our playlists. They're all called Vet Update, so you can just go and look back if you want over there in broken down in sort of 2-3 minute sections. So we'd love, just comment below, please, or share your stories of how you overcame illness for your ferrets. Keep it cheery, but
yeah. Though If you want to emote about a good friend that you lost as well, we're happy to read those stories, to know that a ferret out there has had a lasting impact on somebody's life, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? That's why we have pets.
If you want to talk poop, then we're bang up for that.
If you want to talk poop, everybody, then our Discord is very much the place to be. Get yourself down onto the Discord, as well as checking us out on other social media. We are available on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Yes, we ventured into the world of TikTok, which is going to get even better soon. In fact, everything on FerretTube is going to be getting better soon. It's been a bit exciting this week.
Regular viewers will know we've been running a tips drive to raise money to buy a new camera. But me being the impatient person that I am, I couldn't wait. We've had some generous donations, and I realised that we've got the Patreon donations have just been sitting there in Patreon, not being withdrawn, so that covered half of the price. And I just decided that I was going to go ahead and buy the camera anyway, because there's some things that I really, really want to do. I think you're going to understand. First of all, though, ta-da! They arrived today. I have to say, this box looks like it's been through the wars somewhat, but hopefully the equipment inside it is not going to be damaged. It's not the same without the ferrets running all over, is it? Where are my cats? He is asleep over there. But these are actually kind of designed to be battered. A GoPro action cam. It's the Hero 9. It's going to be able to film in 5K, which means super crisp shots, but also shots that we can zoom into potentially and not lose any quality, which will be really nice. It's waterproof, so we'll be able to put it into the babbling pool. I can't wait to do that. And it can be connected as a webcam, so that when we record the show on a Friday night, it will look super, super good. It can do ×8 slow motion, and that's at 1080 as well. It'll do burst photography as well, so it means that I'll be able to capture. The one thing I can't capture at the moment is stills photographs of the girls when they're not asleep. Basically, they have to be asleep to be still enough for me to photograph. Otherwise, they're just a blur. But with this camera, I'll be able to do, sort of the sports burst action and pick out the best frames. So let's get it out of the box. I'm sure everyone's going, get it out of the box! Okay, there's a nice case inside. There's your little and it's such a small thing as well. It's super handy to use. It'll produce much better pictures than the camera I'm talking to you right now, and that camera is a Sony EX camera, which is a huge thing. It's like this. Right, and so the accessories that I bought, the obligatory head cam. I am so excited actually to use this and have the girls. One of the things that Scruffles in particular, does is when she's down on the shelf, I'll go, come on, and she jumps up and comes up and climbs up my arm. It's going to pop off my head. And I was trying to get that with my mobile phone. It's just not possible. But here with this, I'll be able to put the camera on there and go, come on, and you'll see I run straight up to the camera. Okay, this is basically a widget that allows us to connect the camera to the broadcast rig downstairs. And then this is an extra little toy that I hadn't planned on getting. I'm quite excited about this. This is pure, like, I saw it and I wanted it. So this is Telsin is the make, and it's a smart tracking pan and tilt unit, so you can actually have it track your face. So, you know, if I'm outside working on the garden and I'm filming it, because I've got lots of projects to do outside, you know, instead of having to move the camera and then stand here and move the camera and stand here, this will just follow me. So I'll be able to do walking shots and everything. I was looking at some of the videos of that people produce with it, you know, as a tester, and it's a fun thing. It was £46, I think. So if it works, it'll be great. And I don't know, maybe even it will track the kits. I might be able to sort of, you know, just leave the GoPro on a stand out in the run with this on it and have it track the kits. We'll see how we use it. But yeah, that's my little haul for the day. As I said, a couple more bits coming at the weekend, but I think I need to turn you off now because I'm going to go and have a play.
I was just looking into Tia's eyes.
They're beautiful eyes. They're gorgeous eyes.
I completely forgot that it was coming back to her, sort of like lost in her eyes. Yeah, so it's currently charging up. And we did think about trying to put it in here tonight, but unfortunately the medium mod that I mentioned was coming tomorrow is what we need to connect it to the computer successfully.
Yes.
With the cables that I have. So, but yeah, are you excited?
I'm very excited. I'm very excited because when I'm working on all the stuff behind the scenes on FerretTube, I'm always bemoaning to myself the things like the web camera, just because everything else the quality could just be that bit better, just that bit better. And these webcams are fantastic. They've done the job for a long time now, and we've got them looking great. But just knowing that we've got the possibility of 5K footage and the slow motion, wow, that's going to be so much fun. I've got a feeling there's going to be lots of that coming.
Well, you saw it. I mean, I went crazy with it initially with my Pixel phone, which has a time, pretty passable ×4 slow motion. Yeah. But I smashed the screen on that, so
yeah.
That was dead. And not all smartphones are created equal. So the current Android phone I have does not do. I think the iPhone does like a ×2 or something. It's a bit ropey.
Yes, it's not great.
Yeah, and you've got to fuss around trying to import them as slow motion. So, but this, I'm really looking forward to doing some really, really good slow motion on the girls digging. Like, one of the things I really want to capture is Wriggles mainly, but I guess they both do it. But Scruffles will be furiously digging, and she'll come up and she'll kind of look around, and I very often catch her looking around with these, just her face is covered in sand, and then she goes like that, and and it all goes away, and I'd love to get that in slow motion.
Oh wow!
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Things like in
seeing
super
the
slow
sand
motion.
go off her face as she shakes
And
it.
it's waterproof as well, so when we get the paddling pool out there and we get some water in there, I imagine if I put that in the bottom of the paddling pool, she's going to be going up and snuffling at it, so it's going to create some amazing footage opportunities, hopefully, if we have it on super slow motion, capturing all the action. But we'll see. I'm just excited to play with it, really.
Well, the thing that got me when we're putting that package together, because I didn't know you'd ordered it, but that little remote head that sits on top of the tripod and pans the camera for you and tilts the camera for you to track your face with artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I can see that being so useful. Like, you think of all the packages that I've done, they're all, it's obviously static shots always. Move camera, static shot, move camera, and I create the illusion of movement within the shots by, like, for example, in the garden path thing, putting those last 2 stones down is 3 different shots. So I did it 3 times.
Yes.
So that I could, and be able to just do stuff and have it captured in a sweeping move of the camera is going to be it's going to save me some time, but it's also going to open things up a bit creatively. It's going to mean I can think a bit more ambitiously about how I set up packages and sort of talk to people. So next week, hopefully, if the threat of frost goes away, I'm going to be planting strawberries and sweet peas and beginning to get the garden going. So you can do some great stuff with that head in that scenario, I think.
Definitely. And getting this new equipment is having a few knock-on changes, which we'll talk about in the after-show chat, because we can get nice and deep and technical into it and what's going to be happening over the course of the next week, and I can get all nerdy. Oh, I love that.
And can I say as well, thank you so much to the Patreon. I know we've said it already, but seriously, I was, and also the people who already donated into the tips bucket to get this camera.
Yes.
As I said in the video, I just got impatient for it. But between you donators and the Patreon money that had just been saving up, so all of your Patreon subscriptions so far basically has been saving up in a bin, and that's covered more than half of it. So thank you so much. We're going to think about how we do some fundraising, because we still need some memory. We need some fast drives to store all of this footage, and we're getting more and more footage, and that is quite expensive. So we may be seeing if there's a way we can raise some funds in the near future. But in the meantime, thank you so much to everybody who's been supporting us so far, and I hope you enjoy the footage that comes from it.
Exactly. We couldn't do this without your support. Everyone on Patreon, thank you from all of us here at FerretTube. But some of the stuff that you were talking about wanting to capture in slow motion, we get the regular speed version of it next, because our little ferret Wriggles, she does love them balls, doesn't she?
Yes, you may recognise that ball. It's one of the ball popper balls, which are like giant ping pong balls. They've got a, sort of hard plastic, so she can't get her teeth into it. And she's a little bit obsessed at the moment with that ball. She was chasing it round and round inside her cardboard box den before this clip, and then eventually it made its way outside. But she really does love chasing that around.
Oh, she could do that for hours.
She's very good at it too. Like, she's got some pretty radical ball skills. If she was a human, I think she would definitely be, signing up for some football team or something.
Oh, she'd be snapped up by Manchester United in seconds. Yeah. They'd take one look at this and go, get her on the pitch.
But it is funny, isn't it? The different behaviours. Like, she is so obsessed with balls. What have you noticed about their behaviours?
Well, I've started to be able to recognise when they're having emotions, like they're being annoyed at things. Like last week, when Scruffles was playing with the fluff nut and trying to stash you in the box, she will have a little teeny tiny temper tantrum.
Yeah.
She scrabbles at whatever's on the floor, and it's definitely a mark of frustration.
Yeah, it's kind of, come on, do what I want you to do.
Yeah.
Definitely. She does that quite a lot when she's sort of trying to stash a toy underneath a rug or something. And Wriggles just, I mean, I was glad actually for her to be doing that whilst I was at the side angle, because you can see so much better from this angle through the glass. Of course, one of the things, again, with the camera is, very often, I mean, right now it's not because she's in a confined space, but very often when she's playing with balls and, in a box or whatever, she's moving way too fast for the camera to capture her, and also I can't be close enough to follow her. And of course, even not doing slow motion with this new camera, I'll be able to frame the entire box. Yeah. And then you can probably track her around, and we just sort of scale down to 1080, which is still a brilliant resolution. But we'll be able to sort of punch it on the action, and it will save me. I do wonder how sensitive and how fast that panning thing is as well, and whether or not it's going to, for example, if I set it up in the outside run looking at the sandpit, when they're sort of racing backwards and forwards on the sandpit, I wonder if you'll be able to tag it to a ferret face. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
That would be so much fun. That would be fantastic. I don't know if they maybe designed that thing with ferrets in mind. It's not the kind of thing I think would cross their mind in the design stage.
Yeah, no, probably not. One thing that, though, and I think it's the next clip, and I really want to get into it quickly because it's so relevant to the last clip, and that is our poor Wriggles, because of her absolute obsession with balls. I've discovered she's quite easy to troll. Nearly got it. Yes, that was. I mean, I didn't make it last that long, and I got the ball out for her. I didn't sort of I wasn't completely mean.
So this wasn't stretched out over hours on end, and you've just cut it down to the best bits, no?
No. It was so cute though, because it was just she was tantalisingly almost close enough that she could get both her paws to it and pull it out, but it wasn't quite, and it just kept slipping out. And then there was the point where she was trying to get her teeth in it. Her whole back end was coming up, and she was going, "I will get my teeth into this."
Well, seeing her trying to grab it and pull it out with her paws, I just thought, this is going to prompt evolution in ferrets, and they're going to end up with opposable thumbs, and it's your fault.
Yes, I think actually ferrets with opposable thumbs would be quite dangerous.
Very dangerous. They're already great escape artists. Imagine if they could learn to pick locks.
Yeah, no, my life would be hell.
That would be terrible. Absolutely terrible.
But I love capturing their kind of these natural moments, these kind of, we have a playlist, don't we? Slice of Life playlist.
Yes.
And that's, just where we put all of these little things where sometimes we just capture something happening on the cameras, and it sort of fits together in a nice narrative. Sometimes it's not always the narrative that they're really experiencing, but sometimes it is.
Yeah, well, we're sort of like, if you think about it, we're sort of like Big Brother. We say it's reality, but we've edited it for the exciting bits.
Is she just not all of the adorables?
That was so cute. Oh, that was like a toddler go, right, I've got all my stuff and I need the thing, and that's there, and that's it, now and go sleepies. Oh.
And Fluffzilla takes a lot of punishment, but he's always a very faithful assistant in any of the girls' endeavours. And he stood guard for I think 3/4 of a day he was there. Yeah.
Oh, he's amazing. He's amazing. He's dedicated, that Fluffzilla. Absolutely dedicated.
But yeah, do check out the Slice of Life playlist, because if that's the kind of thing that you like, then just sort of like weird little short narratives. They're very short, generally 1 or 2 minutes, so quite quick to consume. So do go and have a look at that. And we've got a packed weekend ahead, to be honest with you, MahdDogg.
We have.
We've got there was Anthony Sack, viewer Anthony Sack, who's also a dear friend and brings me kitty litter every now and again. He noticed a garden competition, the British Garden of the Year, in many categories, one of which is unexpected, one of which is lockdown or pandemic or whatever. I think it was COVID
I think it's best shed of the year.
Yes, what did I say? Garden?
You said best garden, but it's best shed of the year.
Yes.
And it's sponsored by Cuprinol, the paint people.
Who people who've watched the documentary that we made, the launch video, will know that we very specifically chose Cuprinol, and it was actually the only paint, really, that was available that would do the job that would be safe for the animals, potentially. You know, not that they're going to drink it or whatever, you know, but if it's eventually starts flaking off and, you know, it happens to end up on their coat and then they lick it, you obviously don't want paint that's got lead in it and stuff like that, so this is completely safe. So yes, it was a strange coincidence, but the closing date is Monday, and we of course in FerretTube style are not going to just submit photographs and text, we're making a video.
Yes, a lovely little trip down memory lane.
Yes, and that of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, is coming up probably next. But I wonder what the girls will get up to this weekend.
Hello. Welcome to my shed, home of FerretTube.live, a 24/7 streaming channel featuring these two adorable ferrets, Wriggles and Scruffles. It's been a long journey getting here, and it began with a neglected shed and a lockdown plan that kind of got out of control. This was a sad, unloved shed, until one day a tiny virus changed life in huge ways, and the shed started a transformation too. With lockdown cancelling all of my work as a freelance technology reporter and educator, I had been forced to take stock of the tools I had at my disposal. A very neglected garden shed, a fat internet connection, and an awful lot of time. And came to the conclusion I think most people would have reached. I'm going to open a retirement home for abandoned ferrets in my shed. My neighbours all pitched in to help me transform the shed into a ferret-friendly haven, with day and night vision cameras beaming the view from every corner of the run to the internet 24/7. Everything from the paint to the playthings have been specially selected to make this a safe, comfortable and playful environment for our ferrets. Most recently, we completed work on the exterior run, giving the girls 24-hour access to a huge play area and digging sand pit. I think you can see they appreciate the effort.
Good job. Good job.
Now that COVID restrictions are finally coming to an end, I can complete my plan and open up the doors to rescue ferrets taken in by the RSPCA. My dream is to offer a forever home to 4 more ferrets who might otherwise find it hard to be adopted. Perhaps they're reaching the end of their life, or they're too destructive to be taken into a human home. Welcome to my shed, now the forever home for found ferrets. And you can watch their stories on FerretTube.live. Okay, first job of the day, Saturday weigh-in. Let's see if our girls got a Saturday again. It's time to see if your little hookers. Were you doing a little trick on that then? Where are you trying to figure out where you can get there sooner?
I still recall.
Okay, ladies, come here please, both of you. And turn that on. Let us see. Scruffles. Last week was 709. She's lost a bit of weight. Oh, 711, 710. 7:10. She's lost 5 grams, and Wriggles.
Past relationship was a disaster, but now I don't care. 'Cause you took my
8:58. That looks like 8:58. So last week,
How to heal, and now I don't feel broken anymore.
last week Scruffles was 7:15. She's down to 7:09.
Still got your
And last week Wriggles was 8:64. She's down to 8:58.
wash it away. I know sometimes
So that even with
I get too
the
caught up
Pepto-Bismol and the duck soup every day,
things.
they've both lost weight this week. I thought they hadn't been eating their biscuits as much. Let's hope it's just a phase, like just a flare up, because we were making good progress the previous 2 weeks.
Cause you took my
We'll just have to keep on it. And obviously more information should share with the vet next Thursday. Earlier on, we were talking, if you remember when I did the vet update, we were talking about diarrhea and how that might be a symptom that we can treat. And this is, in case anybody's wondering what ferret diarrhea looks like, we can see it now because there's no blood in their poop because we're using the Pepto-Bismol. But that there, that's kind of golden yellow poop and runny. That is diarrhea. So that was our Scruffles who just did that, wasn't it?
until I'm
You got a little diarrhea.
was
So that's one of the things that I want to talk about with the vet next week.
caught up in the bed.
So got that ready like that.
How to heal
You want it, do you?
my scars, bruises, and broken heart.
There's a good girl.
Pain. Show me how to heal, and now I don't feel broken anymore.
Good girl.
Show me
Good girl.
heal, and now I don't
Okay.
broken anymore.
Okay. I had an absolute nightmare of a morning, to be honest with you. I ran a quick test shot on the GoPro to record some slow-mo, and it just recorded like a burst of my tap turning on. Went to import it into my machine, installed the software that I needed to do the imports from the camera, and it just frazzled one of my USB cards. So it took me about an hour to sort of troubleshoot and realise that the USB card was gone because I couldn't see any of the drives suddenly. So I've replugged everything around the back of the machine and managed to get the drives back online, but I've had to unplug a load of peripherals in order to do that I usually use, so it's super inconvenient. But I lost kind of 2 hours this morning, hence it's now 1 o'clock and I meant to come down at 11. Oh, for a moment I thought I wasn't going to be able to do edit any content this weekend or access any of the drives that that I've got all the footage on. So frazzled with my USB drive, got all the cameras connected, and then when I did manage to import the footage, it tells me the software tells me my PC is not powerful enough to play the footage as intended. So I can't play easily with slow motion footage in the way I thought I was going to. And and my PC is old, and I open it up and it's full of kind of crusty dirt. So I think it's probably time to buy a new PC now. So it's always the way, isn't it? You buy one piece of equipment and then all your other pieces of equipment kind of aren't good enough to work with it, so you end up having to upgrade everything. So I am going to have to look at buying a new computer. Never mind. And hence, there's going to be limited playing with the GoPro this weekend, because I'm not going to be able to do it, and so MahdDogg's going to be the only one who's working on it. So, but I am going to do something, and what I want to do is I want to film them jumping. I think that's the easiest thing. I've got a stalk to put the GoPro on, and I can just hold it above, and they'll be fascinated by what's on the end of the stalk, and they'll jump at it, and I think that will be a pretty fun thing to look at. So, over to you, MahdDogg.
Right, I'm on it. Oh, this is wrong. Kate, it's only 120 frames a second. It's meant to be 240 frames a second. Well, I'll push the big red edit button anyway.
The proper handle hasn't arrived yet, but I've got a selfie stick and I've got a camera mount attached to it. Slip that in there, like so.
That, guys, is epic. It was epic. We got the tunnel collapse and everything, all in slow-mo.
Okay, MahdDogg, 240 frames you wanted. You've got it. As you can see, I've kind of MacGyvered a situation here. I've got a softbox light on the floor, I've got a panel light here, I've got another panel light there. This is the pleasing stick. Those who mock me for keeping a stick for nigh on 20 years, it's just exactly the perfect. Oh, it's the other end. There you go, look. It's just the perfect, and it'll extend out from there. So the idea is I'm going to fill the balloon with water, hang it from here. I'm going to attach the GoPro to here, and then I'm going to use one of these on it. Hopefully it doesn't interfere with the screen. Balloon! Yes, you did just see me wince. Okay. Balloon full of water. I'm not entirely sure if our stick will hold this, but let's give it a go. Is it gonna stay? Okay, it's quite heavy. I don't know if my contraption will actually survive this. No, it's gonna break the head off. We need to find something more substantial than that. Will that work? Okay, change of plan. I'm going to just suspend it across the bathtub. Change of plan enacted. I've got a seriously MacGyvered operation here. We've got a pleasing stick attached to broom handle, suspending bottle, or balloon rather. Then we've got a light panel here, swiveled pointing down. I've balanced my softbox there, so I'm hoping that that stays put. And I found this in a drawer. It's a dashboard mount for your phone, which is kind of weird because I don't have a dashboard. I haven't got a car. But it will perfectly fit our camera, and it should stick to the bath, so let's pop a balloon. A disappointing result, but it did give me another idea. No, it looks like somebody had a really bad accident in the past. That bathroom looks like a crime scene.
I'm afraid that is all from us here at FerretTubeTV. The girls are fast asleep, so it's time for me to turn out the lights as I prepare for another week living with ferrets. If you want to watch the show being recorded, tune in at 7 p.m. BST every Friday on Ferret.Tube. Of course, The Outside Run is live on YouTube 24/7. If the girls are asleep though, we do have new clips, ferret tips and tech guides going up almost daily. So make sure you hit subscribe and ring the notification bell so you'll know when we've posted something new. And if you want to get social, you will find us in all of these wonderful places: Discord, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. No, we're not on Snapchat. TikTok. As ever, Annie, thank you so much for helping to run the Instagram account. And if you really love what we do and you want to support us even more, then head on over to our Patreon. You'll get early access to the weekly clips, exclusive footage from our Patreon cam, and you'll be helping us pay for new stuff like the camera that we just got. So thank you so much for that. We will put all of the links you need in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week, Ferret fans.